I don't feel that I have any more ownership or any more passion towards the subject than any of the other members of the cast or of our crew, and I think it just shows that you don't have to be a racial minority to believe in racial equality, and you don't have to be a woman to believe in women's rights, and you don't have to be a gay person to believe in gay rights. Simply that some men are attracted to women, and some men are attracted to men, and some women are attracted to men, and some women are attracted to women, and some like a bit of both. It's been going on since the dawn of humanity. It's going to continue till the end of humanity. So for God's sake, let's move on, people. That's what I
say. All right, the spirit, yes. When is it being released? September 26th. And here in New York and LA. Thank you. And right near you, there was also a question. Yes. So, for Andrew Scott, how do you play such diversified roles?
I think I've spoken enough now. Thanks very much. I just see what comes in the door, really. I think that's a great pleasure. I started when I was young, so I consider acting as something that you have to be a bit playful about. So just like all of us, we just wait to see what comes through the door. But thank you very much. What was lovely about this was to play a character that is quite gentle and melancholic, and that struck me as something that was very cinematic. And in a group of flamboyant characters, it's nice to represent the people who are very passionate, but just not particularly flamboyant with it. So it was a great pleasure. I had such a great time with these brilliant people.
Thank you. I think we have time for a few more. I'm going to go back here. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask the real lady there.
The real lady.
Well, it's a great film, best I've ever seen, and I'm straight, but it was great. It was I just wanted to know what your memory, what your memory of that time was, if you could, when it was all going on in real life, and sort of a little bit of your memories as somebody there.
Great, thank you. If you can chat a bit about your memories at the time.
Well, I started off just as an ordinary housewife. I got married at 16. I had 2 children by the time I was 20, and then in 1984, the biggest thing that ever happened in my life hit, and it was called the miners' strike. And you know what? I would have taken money from anybody. I would have taken support from anybody, because the battle was to save our community, to save our pits, to save a way of life that my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents valued and known and loved. So when we heard about lesbians and gay support the miners, I've got to be honest, it came up in our meeting and we voted whether we were going to invite them along and accept their money. And there were a lot of jokes. There were an awful lot of jokes, and there were an awful lot of, ribbing each other and, God, what do we think of this? And then it suddenly dawned on you, well, if these people had gone out and they'd bothered to collect money for us, and they'd stood shaking buckets and sides of streets in London, well, we could jolly well got on with it and accept that money. And it was really like a romance. I can't overstate that, because there were 2 communities who had absolutely nothing in common, and we just fell in love. Here was a community, my community in South Wales, Banwyn and Orphan, and by the way, whoever asked that question, I was dead impressed with your accent. And we were very insular communities. We hadn't been outside. For me and the people in my community, the part of the film that we loved the best is the bit where Bill Nighy and Imelda Staunton are buttering the bread. Else, because you're all brilliant, and I'm in love with Jessica's interpretation and everybody else's. But that's what it was like. People knew there were gay people in the community, but nobody talked about it. And as long as nobody talked about it, and as long as nobody had to think about it, that was okay. Everything was safe and fine. And in our community, in underneath the Western Swansea Valley. We did talk about it after, and we did stick to our guns, and we did keep our promise to the lesbian and gay communities in London, Manchester, and across the UK. We did support them, and I'm very, very proud of that. And we've changed Britain. You know, lots of the achievements that we made in Parliament on gay rights, on civil partnerships, and now legalising marriage, you know, making marriage an equal marriage for men, women, whatever your sex, whichever computation. And I love the way the French dealt with this. They were very, very pragmatic, the French. Marriage is two people who want to get married. And they were very clever, the French. They never specified sex. So,